What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news and updates. So we do have a few updates from Bungie in this one, as well as teasers for upcoming content, new armor ornaments that we'll get access to in the coming weeks. Plus we'll talk a little bit about Act 3, speak about some new perks and content that'll be rolling out. On top of that, new collaborations for Destiny 2. Plus Bungie revealed details about a bug that they created in development a couple of years ago, which absolutely broke the game for a period of time. So we've got all of that, content previews and a handful of other things to speak about. Before we get into it though, today, if you want to improve your internet security and access to content in one click, then you should check this out, as in the same way you wouldn't leave your house keys on the doorstep, it's well worth considering your safety online, which is why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. VPN is in the name, but Nord is more than that. It features advanced tools like Threat Protection Pro, which can defend us against malware and viruses, or password attacks and phishing where our data is compromised. But Nord also has a dark web monitor, which scans known hacker databases and can immediately alert us if our security is at risk. There are even alerts to warn us about fake online stores or dangerous websites, and yes, there's also the powerful VPN option, which creates a virtual location for our device, allowing us to access content anywhere, but also protecting our network against DDoS attacks, which can disrupt our connection when gaming and browsing, which generally sucks, doesn't it? So, right now, you can unlock an exclusive NordVPN plan with 4 extra months for free by heading to nordvpn.com/houndish. It's a great deal that unlocks the most powerful and accessible VPN and security tool available, so don't wait around, hit those links below, and thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring the video. Now though, as we get into the video today, firstly a couple of updates from Bungie. The Destiny 2 team said, reminder, win trading is a violation of our code of conduct and can be met with account bans. We've recently issued punishments to an amount of accounts in accordance with these rules, and we understand that many of you are seeking glory within the Crucible and love new rewards and emblems, but we want all to be held accountable in combat. Push hard and earn your keep. Do not seek the easy way, or you may lose everything. They also link an article regarding win trading, so that'll be in the description. Not necessarily a thing that a lot of players do, but it certainly is a thing, so something to keep in mind. Otherwise, Bungie have said we're investigating reports that some purchases of Destiny 2 Silver on the Xbox app for PC are not appearing in the game. So they've said stay tuned for updates if you've been affected by that. Certainly sounds frustrating. But onto content this week, of course, we got these status armor ornaments introduced. Those are currently silver only. But players also asked, will the strand sets return? And Bungie confirmed yes, we'll share dates when we've got them. So that's one thing. Otherwise, for Act 3 of Heresy, we're also going to get the previously unreleased wizard sets from the previous Festival of the Lost. And those are indeed listed with a Bright Dust purchase option, so the stasis sets were reserved for Act 2, and these are reserved for Act 3. We don't know the specific date, but it'll be something to look out for. Another Act 3 content will include the Sunless Cell Strike returning, of course. Very much looking forward to that one, and presumably it will drop immediately with Act 3 next week. Plus we'll see the conclusion of the Heresy story, and as far as we know that will probably run over 2 or 3 weeks again. Plus there may well be a finale component, given that this is going to lead us into Frontiers, apparently. On top of that, we'll get Ride of the Nine and Heavy Metal, which Bungie have said will be introduced later in the act. And in terms of timing, given that Act 3 drops next week, hopefully Bungie will give us a release date this week in the TWID, or at least an indication of roughly when we can expect that stuff. And otherwise, we'll be getting new artifact perks which are strand and rocket focused, so it'll include Unstoppable Rocket Launcher and Gold from Lead, where picking up special ammo has a chance to grant heavy ammo. There'll also be a mod called Vile Weave, this is according to Bungie leaks, where targets hit by your tangles are severed, and it reduces tangle cooldown by picking one up. Then we have To Shreds, where dealing sustained damage to severed targets unravels them, and defeating a severed target creates a hotspot of strand energy granting woven mail to nearby allies for a short duration. That sounds like a pretty good perk. As well as Perpetual Destruction, where rapid final blows with non-exotic rocket launchers will refund ammo and increase reload speed for a short time. So that'll be the final offering of artifact perks for the episode. And otherwise, like I said, hopefully we'll be getting more details about the content lineup and roadmap over the next couple of months, pretty soon with the new act launching. Something else to mention here, but Destiny Bulletin shared Destiny 2 and Sea of Thieves is getting a crossover, according to leaks. I believe these leaks actually come from Sea of Thieves itself, so we're not sure if this will find its way back into Destiny 2 as well, but for any folks who play Sea of Thieves, we can see the Blunderbuss is going to get a Lord of Wolves skin, there'll be a Whisper of the Worm and Ace of Spades skin as well as a bunch of class sigils for the sails, ship cosmetics and more, which are associated with Destiny 2. There's even a Drifter costume. Not currently announced, but it'll be interesting to see when we finally get the details. Other bits of news in the Destiny sphere in recent days, but the Game Post reported on a Bungie Game Design Convention presentation where they said we accidentally shipped a nasty character corruption bug, and Bungie explains how one big mistake led to a day-long downtime and a full player rollback. And to give some context, in January 2023, Destiny players were hit with a bug that removed a bunch of triumphs, as well as earned titles in the game, which led to a server outage followed by a character rollback. And now 2 years later, we're getting more details about exactly what happened from the developer team. So Alan Blaine from Bungie spoke at the Games Design Convention about their work on the player retention team. And from September 2022, continuing through November, Bungie stated that the weekly active users dropped lower and faster than we'd seen since 2018 with no known cause. Similarly, player sentiment was also falling lower and faster than we'd seen, which is why the player retention team was created, and they did generate a bunch of pretty unique features for the game and quality of life improvements which have stuck around until now. But he went on to say, in our haste to ship quickly and vigorously, as was our mandate, we accidentally shipped a nasty character corruption bug that caused us to take the game down for 24 hours and issue only our second rollback of character database in Destiny history. There were a lot of causes for the bug: a misconfigured tool, out-of-date documentation, not enough time digging in to understand the risks of the solution, and they said a test pass actually caught the symptoms of the bug, but none of us took it seriously enough or understood the root cause. And Bungie had stated that the bug originally happened when some currently incompletable EDZ and Nessus triumphs were moved from Forsaken into the archived triumphs section. And it just goes to show how temperamental software can be, right? Bungie essentially moved some triumphs around, which ultimately led to this pretty significant player corruption bug. So they went on to say it was a decent bit of quality of life, but really wasn't going to have a big impact on player retention, and it certainly wasn't worth the risk. What we should have done is just killed it at the sticky note phase, because essentially it wasn't going to be a huge win in terms of sentiment, but overall, the discussion was around the kind of short-sightedness and lack of testing around that issue and how it turned out to be far more severe than Bungie had predicted. So that was why there was that huge player rollback around about the time that Lightfall dropped, which is some interesting context a couple of years later. Of course, Games Design Convention is an opportunity for professional developers to talk to other folks in the industry and those who are learning about game design, which was the purpose of the talk, but it's an interesting insight for us as Destiny players as well. So I'll link that full article down below if you do want any further details. The Game Post also shared extra details regarding the recent court battle that Bungie have had, where they were alleged to have stolen the story for the Red War campaign, and we've discussed how absolutely ridiculous a lot of that stuff sounds. As it's continued though, it gets more ridiculous, as the author's now stating that Bungie copied not only the Red War campaign, but also pulled content from the author's work for the Curse of Osiris expansion. We're not going to go into a ton more details as we have spoken about it before. I'll link the article down below, but it feels to me that you've got to be kind of desperate to state that Bungie stole the idea for Curse of Osiris from you, which for those of us who remember Curse of Osiris wouldn't be the most glowing representation of your work. But nonetheless, the janky legal back and forth continues, with some pretty wild claims. That thread is down below as well. For today though guys, that's what we have to speak about. As always, I'll keep you up to date with more Destiny content throughout the week, and as we head into Act 3 next week, so keep it locked and loaded around here. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so I can keep you up to date. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video, a like rating down below would really help us on the channel, and let us know as well any things you're looking forward to in the upcoming act. For now though, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.